Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this online collaborators chat for the musical project known as Fractures. My name is Frank Horvat. I am the composer of the music on this wonderful project that's been part of my life for years. And this is the third and final chat we're having this evening where the poets that contributed their words to these art songs are having a conversation.
Can't remember how I found yours, Michelle, but when I did, it was a moment of complete recognition. It was myself on the page. You were expressing things. Okay, I wasn't in Kalamazoo. I didn't see the Kalamazoo shimmer. I didn't see some of the exact fields that you mentioned, but I had the experience. It resonated with me from the beginning. That when I sweat, because it's warmer than it should be, and I'm menopausal, and I'm having but it's not a hot flash when I sweat, and it's not a hot flash, and it's something that's out of place. And then, of course, my daughter is now 14. How old is yours now?
Early 20s.
Early 20s. And, I just cried. It just cried because it was the truth. It's such a beautiful poem, a strangely beautiful poem. You find beauty in all of these things that are unnatural, and that's the big reveal at the end is that all these somehow lovely images are a veneer on top of everything that we are culpable for. So that's how at least I read it, and it came home to me because we had more than our share of picnics with paper plates and plastic cups when the kids were really little, and I was racing from here to there. And yeah, I didn't bring a heavy, big picnic basket full of all my china to the park. And you do carry a lot of guilt, I think, as a mom, because it's right in front of you. You're guilty if you don't do all the fun, special things, but you're guilty in how you do them, and the plastic toys and the huge amounts of stuff that it's so easy, the easy buys. And there's stuff that you can't make it not happen. You can only try to do better. So that's your poem gave me the heart of the cycle for me. Like I could be utterly myself singing that poem because I could paint it from my own reality. So thank you so much for that poem.
I feel a little overwhelmed. That's so beautiful and generous, and the whole process and this song cycle is, yeah, as I said before, such a gift. I was thinking about how this poem came about, and I actually, like you, Michelle, I was mostly a fiction writer, and then a series of things happened in the early 2010s that were, spanned from the global to the regional to the local to the very personal. And I really turned to poetry. So some of the images in the poem, 2011, the Fukushima nuclear disaster struck, and that's where you get the iodine skies and uranium raining down on the earth, and the one of the largest inland oil spill in U.S. history was the 2010 tar sands or bitumen spill on a river that's not that very far from me, contaminated over 40 miles of the Kalamazoo River, and the cleanup continued for almost a decade. It's never been fixed, really. And then my husband and I had, to prevent completely unnecessary development, we'd spent our entire retirement savings on the farm that's contiguous to our house, 80 acres. And then we learned, although our farm wasn't contaminated, but farmland not that far from us in mid-Michigan had been contaminated by dioxin that Dow Chemical had spread there. And then, and climate change was continuing. And Michigan is kind of fracking central. Not that there's much fracking actually happens here, but the pipelines come from the fracking fields of Appalachia. They cross here and go to the export terminals in Sarnia, they then go through the Great Lakes. So fiction didn't feel the right place, the right genre, the right way to express and deal with what I was encountering. And also I felt that I needed to get involved politically. So it was when I started becoming, I think I put in my little description, environmental and social justice organizer. So I started actually getting organizing against the pipelines that were crossing Michigan. And I wrote this poem, and something that happened in parallel with all of this, I wrote a different poem about it, but was that a neighbor's lawn care company sprayed pellets of toxic weed killer all over my huge organic garden. So when I say personal, I really mean it. The poem is a sonnet, and so it's a love poem. And I love that you talked, Meredith, about celebrating both the weird beauty, but also mourning, because that's what I was trying to do. It's a sonnet to the world and to my daughter, to the land. It occurs in a broken Eden, in an orchard, and so that I just found it. There's so many things I could say about, like, the music that you wrote, Frank, and the way that you sang it, Meredith. But I just want to talk about the very last line, because it's a sonnet, but it's a fractured sonnet, just like the world is fractured. That final 14th line breaks in the middle, and the last clause is off by itself, and the instrumentation goes away, and it's the voice that sings, that we left you there, meaning addressed to the daughter, that after we did all this to the world, we left her there. And the voice is beautiful and lonely and unaccompanied, just like that child now grown up at the end of the poem who is left there. Anyway, I could say a lot more.
Well, let's take a moment now and we'll just take a quick listen to a clip from For My Daughter.
Cracking flames flow from kitchen